Dragnet. The story you are about to see this summer is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. For instance, Dan Aykroyd
Ma'am.
is Sergeant Joe Friday. Tom Hanks is Detective Pep Streebek.
I'm your new partner.
There's a dress code for detectives in robbery homicide. Section 3-605, .10, .20, .22, .24, .70, .80.
My name's Friday.
Take a lot of kidding about that?
Almost never.
You know the kinds of things that can fall into an industrial sausage press? Not excluding rodent hairs, bug excrement.
I hate you, Streebek.
You got a lot of repressed feelings, don't you, Friday? Must be what keeps your hair up.
Police officers, ma'am.
Why couldn't you have got here before that big, bad, stupid-looking piece of sewage breath stole my white wedding dress?
Just the facts, ma'am.
We need to ask you a few questions.
Their job,
You know, Friday, I think we finally found your look.
to enforce the laws
This is shaping up to be a little more than just a series of simple robberies.
and preserve the safety of decent citizens.
Streebek! I found the snake!
Sure, this city isn't perfect. We need a smut-free life for all of our citizens. Cleaner streets, better schools, a good hockey team.
Dragnet, a new generation of courage.
Thank God it's Friday!
Just the facts, man.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
He stole my white wedding dress. Sack of puke.
We are dorking out about 1987's Dragnet. It's directed by Tom Mankiewicz. It's screenplay by Dan Aykroyd and some other folks. It's based on the TV show Dragnet by Jack Webb, which I've only seen like one episode of, but I know that back in the day it was
Blue Boy.
super beloved.
It's the Blue Boy episode. It's the one. It's like 67, 68, and the kid takes acid
Yes!
and he paints himself blue. Everyone knows that episode.
I
It's
think
fantastic.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
that's not the whole basis for the movie. It should be the whole plot.
They missed something there. I've just realized.
I think so, too. The movie stars Dan Aykroyd, who is perfect. Perfect.
I've never been more attracted to him than I have in the last movies we've talked about. Like,
Look,
argh.
go back and we'll listen to our Blues Brothers episode that got surprisingly horny. Like, surprisingly horny. For Elwood. Sorry, I didn't know we were going to go there so quick. But he's so good as playing Joe Friday. And then we have some dude named Tom Hanks.
Who's going to win an Oscar in a year?
Yes, exactly. At this point, Tom Hanks is like, oh, check it out, man. It's the dude from Bosom Buddies or The Money Pit or Splash. He wasn't like Tom Hanks before this movie. He was just, it's Tom Hanks. And he's playing someone named Pep Streebek, which is a totally normal name that somebody would have. Pep.
Pep. I mean, I love salt and pep. Yo, Pep. I mean, I get that, but Pep? What is that a nickname for?
I don't even think he says it's his name. His name.
The names in this movie are funny.
Oh my God. I swear to God,
Yeah.
they made them like they just threw a bunch of fucking words in a can and like picked pieces of paper out or something like Pep Streebek. It's fun to say, I guess.
It's one of those poems on the fridge, people used to do. Just a bunch of letters and move them around.
The next pet I get, I'm going to name it Pep Streebek. Done. Also,
Yo, Pep.
I had totally forgot that Christopher Plummer was in this movie.
I'm telling you this, fucking hilarious.
He's really, really funny. Harry Morgan, always Colonel Potter to me, but he's, obviously.
Did you notice
What?
the portrait of Mildred on his desk?
Yes.
That's from MASH. Yeah.
Love Harry Morgan. He brings back fond memories. Of course, he's from the original show. We got Alexandra Paul, adorable. Adorable. Everybody drank as the Virgin Connie Swales. We got Elizabeth Ashley. She's always great. 80s treasure, Dabney Coleman.
Fucking hilarious, too, with that lisp.
I will.
That he's got going. Oh.
Dabney Coleman, someday we are going to do a show just about fucking treasures, and one of them is Dabney Coleman. He is, every time Dabney Coleman shows up, you're like, I'm in good hands for this scene, because he's going to do a thing that's going to be really good. And
he's always believable.
Yes, and he's just hilarious. The dude is hilarious. And then you were referencing this at the beginning of the show, Kathleen Freeman.
Who played the nun in the Blues Brothers that waxed them with the ruler?
Yes. Every time they swear.
God damn it, Jesus Christ.
Every time they swear or take the Lord's name in vain, she beats their ass. And then in this one, she has the filthiest fucking mouth ever. So funny.
It's so out of nowhere. You didn't ask me. Did you see this in the movie theater?
Oh, sorry. I'm still running through the cast, and I didn't even get to that.
I'm jumping ahead.
You're fine. Let's do it. Did you see it in the theater?
Yes, I did, because I had the big crush on Tom Hanks.
Yep.
And that scene, I remember very clearly in the movie theater, people howling with laughter, because it just comes out of nowhere. She's just filthy for like 2 minutes. It's great.
It's super normal now to have like a raunchy grandma character.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as common back in 87 to have raunchy grandma. So I also remember thinking it was because she's really filthy.
She's in the house coat and everything, like a hairnet and house coat, and just like, the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
It's about time you got here, pencil dicks.
It's so good.
This movie, look, I'm going to be honest. Like, we're going to go through the story. I saw this in the theater too, by the way, because I also had a crush on Tom Hanks, and I saw everything in the theater around this time. And we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, later. But there was a music video for this movie.
Was there ever?
Yeah, because stars would do anything to fucking promote their movies back in the day, including that. And so that video was on all the time, and I was like, that looks funny. And so I had to run out to see it. We're going to go through the story, but I'm going to say, I don't think the story makes a lot of sense.
Okay, thank you, because I cannot keep up with what this story is about. And they're explaining it as they go.
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like they're telling you exactly what's happening in every scene and who they're talking to and why. And I'm still like, I don't know who the pagans are. I don't know why they have to burn all those magazines. I can't believe they have all those magazines in one spot, because I know how magazines are made. So I'm like,
look,
what?
The story doesn't make any sense. The truth is, it doesn't matter, because the whole point of the movie is to put Joe Friday in weird scenarios so that he can react to them. And his whole thing is that he's very like by the book, just the facts, like fucking loves being a cop, That's his whole identity, is being a cop and just reciting penal codes. And he's like fucking a robot basically. And he gets partnered with Tom Hanks's Pep.
Yo, Pep.
Yo, Pep, what up? And Pep is obviously, he's the opposite, right? Because that's the kind of movie we're dealing with here. He's like not by the book. He's very like, he's sleeping with like every female police officer in the.
And I get it.
And I totally get it. I would hit Pep. I would be into it.
I'm the meter maid that would be like right there. With the cuffs and everything. Hey-o.
Hey-o. Like, it doesn't matter. There's a whole thing where they're like, setting fire to magazines, and like Dabney Coleman's playing like a Larry Flint type. He like runs a like dirty magazine empire.
He's Hugh Hefner, but with a lisp. I know it's not. I'm sorry. It's just a choice.
There's no reason for this character to have a lisp, but he does, and it's fucking.
It's not offensive. It's just like, this is just how the guy talks.
No, there's no joke about him having a lisp. Nobody makes fun of the lisp. Nobody comments on the lisp. It's just a thing he's doing. I think the character is actually really funny. He's just and then we have on the other side of that, we have Christopher Plummer as this reverend who is running like
waste.
He's
sorry.
Another father. What a waste. We're having a theme these past couple of weeks. A lot of Father, what a waste. I just rewatched the season 2 of Fleabag too. Talk about what a waste. Like, oh my. I just got sweaty in here. Anyway, he's running like he's leading like a moral majority, like kind of thing. And the whole thing is they're making all this shit up just so they can like make money, I guess, is what's happening here. And the police commissioner, Elizabeth Ashley, who has one of those like great raspy voices that I love, she is also involved. Again, does it really matter? I don't know. But there's this whole thing about pagan, and it's an acronym, and it turns out the acronym stands for People Against Goodness and Normalcy. Sure it does. And they are stealing things all over LA, and they like break into the zoo and they take like a bat and they like shave a lion's mane and give it a mohawk. Like,
genuine laugh is when
yes,
Dan Aykroyd's so upset about the mohawk, and Tom Hanks says, it's going to grow back. He goes, how do you explain to those children over there that'll never want to see a lion again? Just leans over. He's like, kids, it's going to grow back. Yay! These are dumb jokes, but I appreciate them. They're solid jokes.
Here's the thing about the movie, that there are jokes, which we like. We like when a comedy has jokes. I think it works as like a parody of like police procedurals. It's obviously like very affectionate, you know, homage to Dragnet, the show. Like, I mean, Dan Aykroyd's Joe Friday is like spot on.
Is it Jack Webb? That was his name?
Yeah. It is spot on. It's really good. This is like a role that Dan Aykroyd was like born to play. Like, because he's so good at like spitting out like facts really, really fast. Like, he does it in Ghostbusters too, where he's like, you know, ghosts are the garbage, you have to go back, blah, 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 you know, like all that.
Real Wrath of God type stuff.
Yes. He's very good at that. So at some point, I'm like, I guess I'll just jump ahead a little bit. There's a big pagan ritual that is going to happen, and Joe Friday and Pep, I'm going to call them by their character names just because I want to say Pep. So they like go undercover, and it's totally ridiculous. It's like Joe Friday and a mohawk and all this stuff, and they put on their goat skin like chaps, and they do this weird dance. And there's a whole thing where they're going to do a sacrifice, and they're going to sacrifice a virgin. And it is the Virgin Connie Swale, Alexandra Paul, who's from Christine. We did Christine last October. She's adorable. She looks super beautiful in the wedding dress. And they like throw her in a pit, and there's a giant anaconda in there. And I do love the joke. We're like, because they immediately jump in to save her, and like Friday's swimming to her and he's trying to save her, and like Pep is like, Friday, I found the snake, and it like pans over and it's just like all wrapped around it. It's so ridiculous. Like, all this stuff is so silly. They're just wrestling around with this anaconda. They feed it a bunch of drugs and it falls asleep. It's so stupid. But Friday's like instantly in love with, actually they're in love with each other, like instantly.
They're warm for each other right away. And I get it now. This time I get it from her angle, because when he starts to smile a little bit, and he's not being so stiff and you know, whatever, I'm like, well, also, like I did write it down in my notes, their relationship is very sweet. Like, they instantly like each other. He absolutely believes her when she's like, that's the guy, that she saw the Reverend's face. She knows he's leading pagan. She points him out. He doesn't, he believes her, even though it could be very unlikely that a Reverend is, actually, it's very likely that a Reverend is leading a pagan ritual. You know, he believes her, and he'll do anything to save her, by the way. I was like, that's pretty hot. I like it. The Plummer does a thing where he just tries to act like he just does these little giggling to himself, like anyway. And he just, it's really, he's doing a thing.
Yes, the whole,
and hilarious.
Yeah, the whole thing at like the restaurant where he's just like, now I have to, if you'll excuse me, I have to follow the second highest calling. Like he has to take a dump basically. And he goes into the bathroom and he's like taking a shit. And here comes Friday. And Friday gives him this huge speech where it's just like, what does he say? Like, I witnessed your torchlight picnic you threw last night. We're going to put your kind where you always end up. And he goes on and on and on. Meanwhile, this reverend's just taking a dump. He's trying to take a dump. He comes out. Friday arrests him. And I was like, that's gross. Like, because he doesn't get to wash his hands after he just took a dump.
No, there's no hand sanitizer then either.
No, that's pretty nasty. And, there's also a whole thing with like, Friday has now like gone out to dinner with the Virgin Connie Swale and he's brought his grandmother and we get like another like kind of sassy grandma type who is instantly into Pep. Totally get it again.
Yep,
Grandma's going to get it. And here's the thing. Pep 100% nailed that grandma. I think we can all agree, right? He fucked grandma for sure. He fucks everybody. Like he's like, hey grandma, you ever had a chili dog on the back of a motorcycle? And she's like, not till now. And she fucking puts on the helmet and they ride off. They're gonna fuck. They are.
Okay, Sonia.
They are. Grandma's gonna get some. It's her birthday. He's not going to say no.
He still has a bunch of those pills, too, left over from the party. So,
He's not going to say no. It's her birthday. It's going to happen. Anyway, at that point, like, Friday has lost his badge. He's just a gulp civilian now. He, like, the next time he shoots someone, he could get arrested for it. And then what happens after that? Oh, they go on, like, a romantic drive together. And then Emil Muzz, again, another fucking name that somebody would totally...
Like I said, they did one of those poetry things, magnets, and just move words around. It's like, there you go, Emil Muzz. Yeah!
Yeah, that's it. That's the name. Or maybe these were all names from Dragnet originally, and we just don't know it. But again, the movie makes no sense. They go on a drive. How does Emil Muzz know they're there? Who the fuck cares? He kidnaps them. He like takes them to like that Griffith Observatory that's like super famous in LA, which is totally normal place to take people that you've kidnapped and like tie them up. And then they're like, we're going to kill Friday and we're going to take the Virgin Connie Swale, which by the way, they refer to her as the Virgin Connie Swale through the whole movie.
That's what she's called the whole movie.
The whole movie with a joke that's going to pay off at the end. Like that is how she is described the whole time. What? And then
it's just some shit that, like, Sonia, look, it just goes from one silly scene to another silly scene.
And it just, again, like, it doesn't fucking matter. And like a lot of movies, that's, by the way, this still happens. It just really turns into like a bunch of car chases and like shootouts, which.
And you find out this person's really a bad person.
Yes.
And yeah, there's people on the take. And in the end, Dan Aykroyd wins. He gets his badge back. He actually starts speeding. He starts, like he lets Pep like put somebody's balls in a drawer.
Yeah.
He goes to get coffee.
The whole movie, I'm convinced they made this whole movie just so they could have a joke where Pep yells, "Thank God it's Friday."
Yes.
Like there's a whole thing with like the shootout at the like fucking the Playboy Mansion or whatever, and Dabney Coleman's like running around doing a thing, and like Friday like crashes a tank through a gate like you do, like cops do, and then Pep gets to yell, "Thank God it's Friday," which was used in the trailer, and I am still convinced it's the only reason they made this movie, like is so they could make that joke.
That and that rap.
And the rap, yes. I did laugh again. Dabney Coleman, again, genius. Yeah. There's all these explosions, all this fire. He like runs up to Friday and he's like, with his lisp, like, "You saved me and you saved my girls and blah, blah, blah. You say, whatever you want, you could have whatever you want." And Friday's like, "Get your hands off my suit." And after that, he's just like, "Are you hungry? Let's get something to eat." and like runs off with like his hot ladies. Like, goodbye. Never see that character again. Like,
I love it. He's like the Hugh Hefner,
Yes.
got like the bait maid of the month, and it's another time, y'all. People had to buy porn. They had to like go out and
Yes.
acquire it. So yeah, it is a big deal.
yes.
But yeah, and Aykroyd in the end, he and the virgin Connie Swain
Yes.
start dating.
Yeah, they hook up, and then we get the like Pep and Friday are walking up the steps at the end, and he's like, I spent my evening hanging out with Connie Swale, and he's like, don't you mean the virgin Connie Swale? And it's like, dun 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 dun.
Dun, dun. Dick, 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 dick.
That's all it was. It's like so stupid.
But I don't know. This entertained the hell out of me. When
It really
When I
did.
was young. Yeah, and every time it was on TV, I'd watch it.
Yes.
I find it silly and very enjoyable, and especially everything being so serious and heavy.
Yes.
It's kind of fun to have some entertainment where it's all like goofy
It's
subtext,
so-
but it's not to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like dick jokes and stuff. And
It's so stupid. It's so
Yeah.
like it is not meant to be taken remotely seriously. There's a whole thing about where the Reverend gets sentenced, and it's like he gets 43 99-year jail sentences, and means he's available for parole in 9 years. Like
yeah,
like,
or 7 months or something like
yeah,
that. But
it's
yeah.
all these like just random stuff that like happens throughout. Just honestly, they could have trimmed some of these car chases and made this a tight 90 minutes, and I would probably like it even more.
Yeah.
But that's so 80s for it to have those things. And it's the same complaint we've had about Marvel movies, by the way. They're all way too fucking long, and they all end with like a blue light like shooting into the sky, and they have to like get the thing to like stop the blue light. But back in the 80s, it was car chases and shootouts. Like, that's all
Yeah.
it is. But it's got
What happened?
jokes.
It's got jokes. It like you said, it's a wink and a nod to the original, but they're updating it. This updating meaning 1987. It's
Yes.
not. But I think I also like the lampooning of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That always makes me giggle.
Yeah.
I just find it really enjoyable. It's just a silly little comedy. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
You want just to have something on, while you're folding laundry
Yeah.
once again, wrapping presents, or figuring out your Christmas card. It's like perfect.
It is just a little, it's very light. It's very silly. Like, Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks are really funny together. Like, and again, this is before Tom Hanks started taking himself pretty seriously, I think. He's very
Within
light.
a few years,
Yeah.
he's dying of AIDS.
Yes.
Spoiler for Philadelphia.
Spoilers. How dare you ruin Philadelphia for everybody, Margot?
But he was like 30 at the time.
Yeah.
And like it had been a couple of years since Bosom Buddies. He's now a movie star. And he's cute as hell.
Yeah, he's so cute.
I mean, it's just, and Aykroyd is great and funny. The Dabney Coleman of it, and I always forget how funny Christopher Plummer is. This movie,
Yeah.
he's just, he's a doofus, but he's also evil,
Yes.
and he's handsome.
He is handsome. He's Christopher fucking Plummer.
Yeah, man. Father, what a waste.
Father, what a waste.
Reverend, what a waste. Yep.
There is what might be one of the worst rap songs ever recorded over the closing credits of Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd rapping, and it's called City of Crime, and it has the most ridiculous music video, which I've shared on the social channels, and I'll share it again because people need to enjoy
Did
it.
you put it
And
on TikTok?
I will do that because
Yeah.
I love how far celebrities were willing to go to promote their movies back in the day. The fact that this is a thing that exists, it's really fucking stupid. It's so bad. And that's why it's so funny. Like, it's just, watch the video. There's like dancing involved. Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd are like dancing. There's like background dancers, like sexy cops. There's like, we just like to dance in our goatskin pants along this ancient ruin. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
But a lot of movies ended with rap.
Yes.
Wildcats are like, it's the sport of kings, better than
Football.
diamond ring. Football.
Football.
Even the Super with Joe Pesci.
Yes.
He has a, you're right, Stu. Yeah, you're right, Stu. Like, they would have the rap.
I totally forgot.
It's ridiculous.
It's so.
I can imagine putting him in a recording studio. He's like, what am I doing here? Okay.
They used to do stuff like this all the time. It's just so. And the opening credits of this is Art of Noise, like remixing the original Dragnet theme. So that is super 80s. The movie actually, if you want to enjoy it as like a parody of like police procedurals, you can. If you want to enjoy it as an homage to Dragnet, you can. I think you could also enjoy it almost as a spoof of the 80s.
Yeah.
Even though it was made in the 80s, it's kind of a spoof of the 80s at the same time. It is ridiculous, but it was super fun to watch. It was super fun to watch, and it's on Netflix, so it's practically free. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I mean, this basically is like younger people love the 21 Jump Street movie.
Yeah.
It's fine. Maybe I would like it now more now if I rewatched it, but at the time I was like, meh, it's fine. I think like the way they feel about that movie is probably how I feel about Dragnet.
Yeah.
I read that Jim Belushi was originally going to play Pep.
Ugh, no, thank you.
I think Tom Hanks is great. I don't think we need Jim Belushi in there. No offense to Jim Belushi. He's fine. He's fine.
I know somebody who worked on his show, Jim
Oh,
Belushi's show, yeah. And he's not a great guy. And
That's
didn't treat his
disappointing.
writers well, yeah. And the joke that went around about him, they would say about him, was when he left the room, who died and made this guy famous?
fucked up.
It always makes me laugh.
Fucked up. It's so fucked up. I remember talking to my dad when I was over at my parents' house. This is when According to Jim, his sitcom, was still on the air, which inexplicitly was on for like 7 years or something. I was like, what the fuck? But I was over there and my dad was watching it. And I was like, I don't understand. There's a lot of good things you could be watching. And I was like, and you're watching According to Jim. And my dad said, sometimes you don't want to watch something good. And I was like, that's why you're watching According to Jim? And he's like, yeah, I don't have to think. And I was
I
like,
think that's valid.
And I was like, honestly, because I was like working as a TV critic at the time. And I was like, why don't you watch something smart like Arrested Development or something? And he was like, sometimes you just want something bad that you don't have to think. And I was like, I hadn't really thought of it that way. And I was like, now as a like 50-something woman, I'm like, oh, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
But at the time, I was like, thanks, Dad. That's some key insight. That's news I could use. They also apparently wanted Albert Brooks to play Pep.
Albert Brooks just, no, he's too smart for that.
He's way too smart. And like, Pep fucks. You can't say that about Albert Brooks. Sorry, Albert Brooks.
I would say that about Albert Brooks.
I mean, we would.
Yeah.
We would, but would other people? I don't know. Apparently, Albert Brooks was also offered the part in Big. Which
the Big origin story is bananas because it was supposed to be De Niro.
That's fucking bonkers to me. And by the way, if you want to hear a whole thing about Big, I suggest you go into the F This Movie archive and listen to Margot and Patrick talk about Big. It's one of my favorite things that ever happened.
let's just say deconstruct the plot.
Yeah,
and our questions.
Because Margot takes it in a direction where I was like, oh shit. Like, I think it was when you did My Best Friend's Wedding that I was like, that chick fucking gets it. She's rad. And then like started basically stalking Margot on social media. But when she did the one on Big, she like blew my mind because you were like seeing it from the mom's point of view. And I was like, oh shit, this movie's fucked up. So
and a
good.
friendship was born.
It's such, and a friendship was born. That's right. Thank you, F this movie, for that. We have done 1987 movies a few times, so I went a little deeper on the list. I apologize if I've said these movies before, but I really tried. Are you ready?
Of course.
Okay. Flowers in the Attic.
My God, my brother.
Hot. No, just kidding.
He loved Christy Swanson so
Yeah,
much. He would see her in anything.
Yes.
And he had to see that weekend it came out.
Is dude, VC Andrew books, man. They're fucked up.
They were so fucked up. And the origin story of the author is amazing because people thought it was a guy who was using a woman's nom de plume, but it was a woman, and that she had a fight for the credit. And it's a great story. But like, those books were one of those, like, you read these as a kid, you get passed around. It's the paperback section at the library. You know, you pick up, you look at the covers and you grab them. And this one went around, like, everyone talked about it. And then If There Be Thorns, Petals on the Wind. There was like, that family was so messed up.
So messed up.
It was a brother and sister, and you're like, yeah, get married, have kids. You love each other.
So fucked up. I remember reading that book as a teenager and being like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that's where it was going. I learned a valuable lesson that day.
It was wild.
Yes. Other movies. Hellraiser.
Yep.
I'm not a Hellraiser person.
Nor am I. It's a one-note joke for me, but
there are people that love those movies, and there's a whole bunch of them, and I'm like, they're just not for me. They make me feel icky. I don't like them. Making Mr. Right.
Is that with John Malkovich?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
I remember thinking that movie was very cute.
Anne Ferguson?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I liked her.
You got such a memory.
For some things.
I'm sure all the teenagers were out seeing this one. Nuts.
That's Barbara Streisand who just has her book out.
Yeah.
Which, did you know it's over 40 hours in an audiobook?
That's so fucking
it's like
Barbara
2
Streisand.
Audible credits or something. Yeah.
Damn.
But she's spilling the tea.
Maybe I should. Is she reading it?
Yes, she's reading it.
Fuck yeah. Maybe I want to listen. I don't know, man. 40 hours.
Yeah, the Mandy Patinkin section is all I want to hear.
Okay. Good to know. Outrageous Fortune.
One of my faves.
It's got Shelley Long. It's got Bette Midler, and George Carlin. Nothing
it's one
wrong.
Of those, like, me and my mom would watch it.
Yes,
on.
Me too.
Yep.
My mom and I saw that in the theater. This movie. There was a whole bunch of movies like this in the late 80s. The Principal.
Yes, with
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi, who died and made this guy famous. I'm sorry.
It's worth repeating. It's worth repeating. There were
show.
so many movies about like teachers or principals cleaning up rough schools. Like so many. We had that. We had Lean on Me. We had maybe one called The Superintendent.
Yeah,
like,
they call him a Batman. That's what the Joe.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
And
And then they call me Crazy Joe. Like
Crazy Joe. They're gonna call me Batman.
Yeah.
Do you know I worked on The Principal 2 that starred Treat Williams and B.D. Wong?
I did not
They
know
filmed it
this.
in New York City. I worked as a unit publicist like a couple of times in my early career, and Treat Williams was really nice.
Oh, R.I.P.
And fucking sexy.
Yeah, this does not surprise me. Like,
but he hated the script. He's like, this is stupid. And he's like, hey, Julie, sometimes you just got to pay the bills. I'm like, I'm with you, buddy. Yeah.
there were all these movies where it was basically like black drug dealers are taking over the school movies.
A lot of drug dealers in schools. People were very
Yes.
concerned about that.
It was the whole like just say no, drugs
Yeah.
everywhere kind of shit. There were so many of these movies. I probably
There's never any-
probably saw them all.
I did too. And I think it was just we were indoctrinated that way. Like there was no thought about addiction
Yeah.
and the cause of addiction and what
Nope.
really happens to people or anything. Like, no, there's like, they're all pushers. And they're
All of
taking
them.
the Kids. Yes.
Such
There's
a
a song called Pusher Man. too. That's 70s.
course, and that is also rapped by Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. Okay, a few more movies. Suspect.
Cher.
Yes.
Liam Neeson. He's mute.
That's right. I forgot about that part. I know
Yeah.
that Dennis Quaid was in it too. I think she's a lawyer and he's a juror. No problem there. That's fine.
Oh yeah. No, they solve crimes together.
Yeah, why
It's
not?
like,
Why wouldn't the juror?
no problems at all.
Totally. Everything's on the up and up there. Okay, a few more. 3 O'Clock High. Do you remember
Is
that one?
one about the kids in the high school and he's going to get beat up
Yes.
at 3 o'clock? Yeah.
Yes.
I like that one.
I remember liking that one too. Throw Mama from the Train.
It's got some funny scenes.
Yeah,
But it gives me a lot of anxiety.
valid. And then last
that one.
one, Disorderlies.
Is that the Fat Boys?
Yes. we loved rap so much we were going to make the Fat Boys a thing. They were going to be movie stars. I'm
doing some research on
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go.
I'm doing research on a choreographer named Lester Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at all of his credits. Like Scrooged, he's the one that leads the Solid Gold Dancers. And
Have we done Scrooged?
we should do Scrooge.
Because
I think that'd be interesting.
I actually really love Scrooged. It's a movie that makes me laugh out loud every time I watch it. I know it's not for everybody because not everyone loves a mean-spirited. It's a little
Christmas
mean.
movie.
Yeah, but I do think it's really funny.
I think it's got very funny bits to it.
Yeah.
Like I think it goes a little too far in some scenes,
Yes.
but I still like it. And then I was looking through his credits and there's a picture of him. He was one of the choreographers for Beat Street. And I was like, damn,
What?
Beat Street. Those movies were so good.
We talked about these a couple episodes ago. I forget what month it was because I was all down the rabbit hole on Criterion Channel watching all the hip hop documentaries and movies, including Crush Groove, and Crush Groove has the Fat Boys in it as well, and they are very fun and entertaining in Crush Groove. So I could get why they were like, let's put that in another movie. So I understand why Disorderlies exists.
Do you want to hear the top 10 songs for when this came out, this movie?
I assume number 1 is City of Crime.
No.
Damn. All right. I'm ready.
Okay, so June 27th, 1987. Number 10, Bon Jovi, Wanted, Dead or Alive.
Song is dope. I love that song. I do.
Number 9, Smokey Robinson, Just to See Her.
I really
play
liked.
that
I liked the.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I liked the late '80s Smokey Robinson stuff. I thought it's very.
I
don't
like
know,
his
I
voice.
Yeah, me too.
He's got a really great voice. I don't remember the song. Tell me if you remember it.
Okay.
Herb Albert, Diamonds.
I do. This is the one with Janet Jackson. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, and it's like got a lot of saxophones and shit in it. I wonder if you heard it. If you'd be like, oh yeah, like.
I'll check that later with Alexa. I love this song. Bob Seger, Shakedown.
So I love this song.
Too.
I
love me some Seeger, man.
Not ironically, I legit love this song, and now I'm going to put it on a playlist because that song is rad. I love Bob Seger.
He's the best.
He is.
He also has a great voice. Number 6, Kenny G, Songbird. We loved saxophones in the 80s. Oh my God.
I think I told the story last week about how I fell asleep at the Kenny
At a
G
Kenny
concert.
concert.
It's very relaxing.
Number 5, Atlantic Star, Always.
Is such a hit. It's such a make-out song.
Here's another one.
Uh-huh.
Number 4, Heart Alone.
I love this song. Again, not ironically, love this song. Love it. Sing it I sing it all the time.
Number 3, Genesis, Into Deep. Yeah, not my favorite, but they played that everywhere.
Yep.
I fucking love this song. Number 2, Lisa and Cult Jam, Head to Toe. That's a bop.
So into Lisa and Cult Jam. Loved. That song is
If I take you home,
would you still be in love, baby?
love with me.
Sorry,
Oh.
everyone hates it when I sing, I'm sure. Now we're going to get 1 star. 1 star.
Number 1 song, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody
I
Who
love
Loves
that
Me.
song. I love that
Yeah.
song.
It's a good list.
She's so great. I did text you, I think, yesterday about maybe we should do The Preacher's Wife sometime this holiday. That might be fun.
I think so.
Yeah. It would be fun to revisit. Anyway, what else are you dorking out about, my friend?
I got a big list here.
Ooh, I've got a big list too.
First, I want to recommend Kate Casey's podcast,
Ooh.
Reality Life with Kate Casey.
Yes.
She talks a lot about reality shows. She also loves documentaries.
I'm intrigued.
And she has a lot of, like, every week she has recommendations for what you should watch for the week.
Okay.
So she kind of curates your week for you.
I could use that.
Yeah. So I have that. I did see Mission Impossible, whatever that one's called that they had over the summer. Part 1.
Yeah. What'd you think?
That train sequence was going to give me diarrhea.
Oh my God.
I was so anxious.
I was kind of in awe of that scene. That whole sequence.
The special effects.
Yeah.
And Cruise just willing to kill himself, basically, to make a movie.
Yes.
Is just, and I love how loyal he is to having all these people with him in every movie. Isai Morales, oh my God, is he hot?
He is aged like a fine wine. Like,
wow.
Richie! He's really, what a silver fox. He is like, I know. I was like, hello, when did this happen?
I was like, it took me a while. I was like, wow, okay. I liked it very much.
Yes.
I think it's a little long.
Yes.
And I'm not really quite sure what's going on. That's normal for me.
That's normal for me for all Mission Impossible movies. But the train sequence alone, I was like, this is amazing. And did you rent it or did you stream it?
I rented it. It's like $5.99.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it to be like streaming on something because I think my son would freak out just for the train sequence. He wouldn't give a shit about the rest of the movie at all, but he would love the train. So I'm just waiting because that scene is
there's
dope.
There's a point where it's like, there's like 2 keys that go together.
Yes.
And I'm like, how much was this movie? And this is what it is. Like, I was getting annoyed.
It's so weird.
It's bizarre. But then the train starts falling,
Yes.
like one car by one car by one car. I was flipping out. I was like, this is really well done.
It's so well done. I'm glad you liked it.
Loved it. Netflix, Robbie Williams. I love Robbie Williams.
That is on my list. I haven't watched it yet, though.
The riz that this guy has is like electric. I was on the Robbie Williams train when he was doing his solo shit.
Mm-hmm.
I started The Crown. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish The Crown.
Okay.
This is not how I want to see my Diana.
Valid. I'm so behind on The Crown. It's like I'm like still in the first season. So.
Oh, you're really like.
Oh yeah, I'll get there. I'm very easily distracted by new shiny things. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, The Crown. Maybe over the holidays, but probably not.
Yeah. Probably not. On Hulu, there's The Curse. It's with Emma Stone and Nathan Fielder, and they're doing kind of a goof on the couple that lives in El Paso, Texas. It's in El Paso, where they redo all the houses and like the whole town.
Okay. Is it good?
Someplace else. I think so. It's a goof on that. So,
Yeah.
so it's dark and funny. I like Emma Stone a
Me
lot.
Me too.
I think she's great. Gilded Age on HBO Max. I'm loving it. I'm worried that they're just going to wrap everything up this season. Like, it feels like it's kind of rushing.
Has it been renewed for another season?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. So I'm worried. I also, on Paramount Plus, JFK, What the Doctors Saw. I can't watch enough JFK. I know.
Fascinating.
Yeah. These are actual doctors at the hospital when the president was brought in. And these people are lucid enough to talk about something that happened 60 years ago.
Wow. I can't remember what happened 6 days ago.
No, nor can I. On TikTok, I don't know why I did this to myself, but somebody recommended the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, which I used to watch, making the team.
Yes, I remember when you were watching that.
I was totally into that. And somebody on TikTok just put a whole bunch of TikToks about the two women, Kelly and the other one, that I'm so sorry, I don't remember their names. But anyway, they were in charge of the girls and they brought them through training. And every season there was somebody that they thought was horrendously fat and needed to be called in.
Oh my gosh.
And body shamed. And they're watching these women, and there's one girl comes in, she looks great, like no muffin top, nothing. And they're like, you're 5'3". We really expect you on the high end to be about 104.
Oh my God.
So I know. They're like, so you're going to have to work on that. They have like girls in there that you can tell they're about as thin as they're ever going to get. And they're beautiful and in shape. But they're like, I don't know, your thigh, your butt and your thigh, it's your rump and your thigh. You have a thump. I don't know if it's going to work.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God. There's like one after the other. It's like,
I don't think I can watch this.
Yeah, it's rage-inducing. But,
yeah.
And then finally, of course, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
They're all so fucking crazy.
Beverly Hills.
Oh my God. Let's go on Salt Lake City. Mary, again, is so fucking batshit. And she invites Heather over to her house, her like Willy Wonka fucking house. And Heather, like, they have a discussion, and Heather's like, well, you haven't always been nice to me. You said that I looked inbred. And she's like, well, you do look inbred. Like, and she said it like, almost like, I don't mean it as an insult. It's just a fact. Is the way she said. I was like,
that's how she puts
she's
things.
So
I'm just being honest.
Fucking.
So it's not mean.
She is bananas.
This is a woman who, by the way, who married her grandfather and had a kid with him.
Yes.
And you're making fun of somebody for looking inbred?
Let's all take advice from Mr. I married my own grandpa. Like, so whatever. They're bad shit.
They're just bad shit. And Monica and her mother, their passive aggressive stuff.
Her mom. I know, like, Lisa Barlow is like, I don't get it. Like, whatever. And I'm like, no, I totally see what Monica is talking about. They have a very toxic relationship. And
yeah,
her mother, I did think it was hilarious that she like made her mom walk home. I laughed out loud.
That was completely hilarious.
Yeah, she was like, well, now will you give me a ride home? No. I was like, bitch, just call a lift. Like, call a lift. But no, she just walks home. I'm like, maybe it's all for the cameras. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But,
oh, yeah. They're both playing for the cameras.
But it certainly is entertaining.
It's fascinating.
It is. Anything else on your list?
No, I think that's plenty.
Okay. I went and saw May December in the theater, which is the new Todd Haynes movie with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Have you heard of this movie?
Mm-hmm. And
Julianne Moore is playing a character very I can't remember who it's based on those stories of like the teacher that like hooks up with like the 7th grade student and like they have a baby together. And Julianne Moore is playing like when her character was like 36 years old, she quote unquote fell in love with a 7th grader who worked at the pet store with her. And and they hook up and they have a baby, and like she goes to jail, all this stuff, like has her baby in jail, all these things. They are now like 25 years out from that. They are married. They have children. They seem to have like a family and they're all happy or whatever. And Natalie Portman is an actress who's going to play Julianne Moore's character in a movie. So
my God.
So she comes to town to like spend time with them for research for the movie. The movie, first of all, is beautiful to look at because it's a Todd Haynes movie.
Right.
They are both really good in it. Oh God, who's the man who plays the grown man is Charles Melton. I don't remember him from anything else. He's really good as like the kid who's grown. Now he's grown up. He's like 36 years old. But him like kind of realizing like what was maybe stolen from, not maybe, was stolen from him by doing this.
Do they mention Mary Kay Letourneau at all?
They don't. And that's who this is based on. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name. It is a very interesting movie. It doesn't play the way I thought it was going to play. The performances are really good. I like it. I do like it enough that I like came home and started like Googling and like reading other people's takes, because it's one of those movies where I wanted to hear like other people's interpretations of things. It's very interesting. So do you need to see it in the theater? I don't know if you need to see it in the theater. It is beautiful to look at. So if you want to see it on a big screen, you should.
Did you ever see, is it Superstar, the one he did about Karen Carpenter?
No, but it
was his student film.
Yeah.
And he did it with Barbies.
Oh my God. Was it good?
And it's great. But it's like 30 minutes long. It's not very long. It was a student film. And he's doing the life of Karen Carpenter. And of course, Richard Carpenter's family freaked the fuck out. Because she's basically, people are usually Team Karen and not Team Richard when they hear their story. And he uses Barbie dolls, and it's bizarre, but it kind of works.
Okay.
And you can find it on YouTube.
Oh, all right. I will check it out.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say.
I will also say that Julianne Moore is doing a lisp in May, December, almost as good as Dabney Coleman's. So just heads up. So this led me on a little adventure where I was like, I'm finally going to watch Carol, which is Todd Haynes' movie from 2015 with I'm sorry, not Julianne Moore. Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett and Sarah Paulson and Kyle Chandler. Hello. Although he's not playing anybody in this movie I would want to talk to. I would normally love to talk to Kyle Chandler. Have you seen this one?
I started to see it, and I was like, this just looks like a stone cold fucking bummer.
It's a fucking bummer. Again, beautiful to look at. The clothes, chef's kiss. I want to wear everything they wear. I really, really liked it. I thought it's really beautiful. It is a fucking bummer. It's a bummer. But the performances are really great. I really like the relationship, how it plays. It's very slow. Again, because it's so beautiful. I really liked it. That one's on Netflix too. So if you want to like go down a Todd Haynes rabbit hole, Carol. It's also very of the season. It's set during. We almost did it for my other show because it's Patricia Highsmith, the author. Yes.
Yeah, we were going to do that, and then Margot's like, "I'm bummed out." Her name is also Margot.
Yes.
I was like, "Yeah, I can't at Christmas time. Maybe after Christmas I can."
Yeah, I mean, it takes place between like Christmas and New Year's. It's New York in the 50s. It's, again, like he's very meticulous about how movies look. I appreciate that about him, but it is a fucking bummer. So
He's also the piano player in the Tom Cruise.
oh, you're thinking you're thinking of Todd Field.
Oh, Todd Field.
He is in Eyes Wide Shut, which I watched it last year, and I was like, this is a Christmas movie.
Okay, so then I might have screwed that up then.
Yeah.
The Karen Carpenter movie is either Todd Field
Let's see. Let me look. Carpenter, Todd Haynes. I'm looking it up. I think you're right. You were right. You had it right. Good job.
I got it right. It is Todd Haynes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's check it out. It's like 30 minutes on YouTube. It's bananas.
I will absolutely check it out. And then, as I usually do around this time of year, I have started my cheesy holiday movies. My favorite so far is EXMAS on Amazon with, I'm going to look up the names. I have it open right here. Nope, that's not the one. It's the girl from Gossip Girl.
Alexis Bledel?
No, it's Leighton Meester.
Leighton Meester. Sorry.
Yes.
I get Gossip Girl and Gilmore Girls mixed up. I never watched either one, so that's why.
I never watched Gossip Girl, but it's Leighton Meester. And then Robbie ML. They play like a couple that has split, and he is like obsessed with his work, as they all are in these movies, and he can't go home for Christmas, so his family invites her to Christmas because they were engaged for so long. They love her, and then he at the last minute shows up, and they are both there at Christmas. And it's actually, I was like, meh, whatever, but it's really sweet. It's actually really funny. I did laugh out loud a few times. They have great chemistry. It's free on Amazon. It's probably my favorite of the three I've watched so far. So if you like that sort of thing, and I believe Margot does, you might like EXMAS. There's also, I watched How to Fall in Love by the Holidays, and that's with Terry Hatcher and Dan Payne. And I like holiday movies where the couple skews a little older for obvious reasons. It's not just some 20-somethings that, like, I'm like, bitch, just get on a fucking dating app, whatever. Like, these are people who are in their 50s, and she's like a Goop type magazine that she runs, and she has to, like, the sponsor wants her to use their dating app, and she falls in love with like the photographer that's taking pictures for her story. It's very silly. It's very sweet. Terry Hatcher's very fun to watch. I liked it. So that is on the Roku channel, which is a channel that exists. I'm not making it up. And then last one, and everyone's going to make fun of me for this one. I watched Holiday in the Wild. with Kristen Davis and Rob Lowe on Netflix. And her husband leaves her, so she takes their second honeymoon without him, where she was going to go on safari in Africa. And Rob Lowe is the pilot, and instead they save a baby elephant. And then she is like, I'm a vet, and stays and works with all the elephants, and you'll never guess what happens.
That sounds good, though. They
fall in love. Fuck me. I actually really like this movie.
I like elephants. I'm all on board.
So if you follow me on Blue Sky, people will see, like, I have a thread where I'm talking about all the holiday movies, and I was like, I give this one an 8 Christmas trees out of 10 because it has cute elephants in it.
That's pretty much all. Elephants are very beautiful animals.
They are.
And they're very attached to one another. The mothers are very, very attached to their kids.
Yes.
Yeah, people who hunt them are garbage.
Yes, and I will warn people that is a topic in this movie, and that's what I actually cried. And because I am very sensitive when it comes to animals, and I can't deal. But I made it through that part, and I think after that, the movie just kind of broke down my defenses. And then I really liked it. Like, they have great chemistry. Like, they are made for these kinds of movies. Like, and she's not, it's not the typical, like, ew, I'm in Africa, everything's dirty, and I'm a city girl, and that's where I kind of thought it was going to go. It does not go to that. She just takes to it very well, and she's very kind to people, and so is he. Everybody's lovely. Like, there are no real bad guys other than the people that, like, poached Ivory at the beginning of the movie. It's very entertaining. It's actually shot in Africa, so it looks beautiful. There's elephants in it.
I love it.
Look, I know it's stupid that it's about white people in Africa, but I still really liked it.
I bet you it's a lot more entertaining than Out of Africa, which I can't sit through. That movie bores the shit out of me.
I saw that movie when I was way too young to see it in the theater and, like, fell asleep. I fell asleep in the theater, and I haven't. I don't know if I've seen it.
To that movie.
I don't know if I've seen it since.
On my laptop, like, or on my Kindle or something. Like, when I can't sleep, I should just put that on.
Is this what I should do? Maybe I should do this.
Nothing. So boring.
You are you're like Elaine in Seinfeld, where they keep showing her the English patient. Is this movie longer? Anyway, those are all my holiday movies. Again, follow me on Blue Sky, and I'm going to be tracking all the cheesy holiday movies I watch. That, by the way, I don't love them. I don't love them ironically. I legit love them. So that's my list. My friend, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, as long as that exists, at Brooklyn Margot. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm trying to get more into that. I'm on Threads and Instagram at Brooklyn Fit Chick. My site is Brooklyn Fit Chick. And then on the TikTok, I do put, clips there for the movies we're watching and, checking out. It's Brooklyn Margot.
And if you like the show, you can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. We take requests. So if you have a movie you'd like us to dork out about, please do that and give us your address, and we'll send you some stickers. We have really cute stickers. Also, you can find us at dorkingout.com, Dorking Out Show on Twitter. I'm really trying not to spend time on Twitter, because it's basically turning into Truth Social at this point, and I'm just like, fuck Twitter.
I'm pivoting off of it, yeah.
I'm really trying, but there's still, like, some key people there that are, like, active, and I want to see their stuff. So anyway, you can go there, but I'm mostly on Blue Sky. I'm on Threads. I'm sorry, Dorking Out is there. Sorry, everybody, I'm so mixed up. Facebook, Instagram, Dorking Out shows everywhere. You could find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on all the social things. Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok. I'll put City of Crime up so you guys can enjoy it in all of its glory. Margot, thank you for talking about Dragnet with me.
Oh, God. They stole my white wedding dress.
Just the facts, ma'am.